Alrighty, are we live? No, we're not. We
Yes,
are
we
live.
are.
Yes, we are. Thank you. You jump in my line. My bad. So good to see everybody. Hey, of all the games at casino, we obviously love the game of craps. But today, I think we're going to give you all the reasons why craps isn't just a great game. It's the perfect game. In fact, it is a game that some might argue, guys like me, why it's the perfect game for everybody. It might be the best game of all time. We're going to talk about all those reasons right now.
Welcome to the Color Up Podcast. Whether you're a seasoned player or a beginner eager to step up to the table, this is your lucky podcast that's all about the thrill and strategy of the casino world. I'm your host, Jeremy. With me is Jim the Professor.
Yeah.
Let's get rolling. Perfect game. Perfect intro.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you. I got to
Yes.
get the comments.
Yeah, the comments are already rolling in.
Yes,
We will get to
they're in.
everyone's comments eventually in the monster roll if we don't mention you during the main topic of this portion. But it's been a week. How
Yes.
did your week go?
It was a very busy week. We had field hockey on Monday and Tuesday, Friday night football. We had all kinds of other stuff going on. A very busy week in the teaching profession, but it was a lot of fun, and it's good to be a teacher and having a good. And fall is in the air. Although my feet were frozen on the chain gang, and it wasn't even that cold, but might have had more to do with my diabetes than anything else. So, how about your week? Busy week?
It was good. I'm starting to venture out into Vegas, which is
Okay.
there's a lot going on. And so, for instance, the Craps Hawaii came in. I guess he had a table at the Durango.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So-
where they normally get going.
Yeah,
One of the
so
places, yeah.
yeah, I stopped over and said hello to him, and he had, there's probably 20 people there, kind of there, and I saw my old friend Rick at Let It Roll, and I saw Patty, and there's just
Oh,
a bunch of people that I could say hi and take pictures with, so
Excellent.
that was fun. I didn't play any, but
Mm-hmm.
there's that, and I went and Friday, I went and saw a vintage RC car championship at the Orleans casino / arena.
Yeah,
So that was very-
this week.
Well, that was
Fun
different. I
time,
slipped it in before going to the airport, but I slipped it in, and then I had to check out the casino, and then I was able to visit the Gold Coast Casino, which I've never been to before.
What do you think?
It's interesting. It's definitely the local. Well, let's just say they have a huge stadium baccarat section. I mean, there's probably I don't know, easily 50 seats of people playing, and then one dealer up front
Okay.
dealing baccarat.
All right.
And then they had 20 live baccarat tables. So
So
they
they're
love
popular
baccarat there at the Gold Coast, apparently.
Okay.
But what was also nice was it was a Friday evening, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 o'clock, and roulette and craps were $5. So they had a roll to win, table, but they also had a real table open at $5. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's good to see $5 tables are out there. I've been this past week, Silverton, South Point, Ellis, Palms, Gold Coast. I know I haven't been to the Rio, but the Rio is now advertising $3 craps from
Yeah, I watched one
3
of
to
our
3
buddies,
or-
Alex with Casino Quest. Was
Okay.
Playing he tried to play 6 hours. With his
Did he
buddies.
make it?
I think last time I checked in, he was on his way. So he was still on, but that was a few hours into it.
Yeah, I'll have to check
And
that
Patty
out.
was
But
there too.
okay. But yeah, it's nice to see them having to change some rules to attract some players. They can't jerk us around like they did after the pandemic, and
Yes.
everything's $25, $50. They got to actually compete for our business, and so it's fun to see the
And they're
tables drop back
recognizing
down.
us. Yeah, they're recognizing us as real human beings and gamblers and all that
Right,
stuff.
right. We can't all just bring $1,000 every time to play at a
No.
$15 table, right? I mean, they'll be better off just stealing everyone's $300 from us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They'll do just fine.
It takes a little longer. You got more people to interface
Right.
with, but
Right.
you know,
But they'll get
it
there.
adds up to the same. You know,
Exactly.
Maybe
More because more people are willing to, or can afford or can drop. Anyway, that's not what the show's about. But I am starting to get out in Vegas, do some of the events and things around town, and be able to more consistently check out some of the tables. So,
did you get a chance to go and have you made some inroads as far as working out your deal with?
No. That's same old line. Oh, well, the contract went back and forth, and then they gave a bigger contract, whatever. So,
okay.
So
you're still
waiting for one to come in, and then, I'm trying to check out different ones. I mean, although Gold Coast was decent, it's a Boyd's property. They have the roll to win and the standard table at lower level, which I just didn't feel, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. I think it's one of our points. Is the vibe wasn't. Super I wouldn't want to be like, hey, this is my partner, right? And it's a Boyd's property, not Boyd's fine, but it's just not something I was like super excited to be like, oh, this is the casino I want to partner with. So I'm still on the hunt, and that's part of getting out there, I guess, and talking to people. So
so. No, nothing nailed down yet. Still talking, but getting out. Still so that's
yeah, exactly. I'm not right, and doing some hiking, getting around, which is fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the topic, which I think you've come up with a good one, perfect one. Maybe I should say.
Perfect topic.
What do you got for us today?
Well, we were talking last week. I think it was last week, and I don't know, at one point during the discussion, we said something about our game being, somebody said it was a perfect game or something like that, or it's the best game, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, yeah, we need to do a show on that. So that's what we've got, and we're going to try to convince everybody, and maybe we'll get some input from some people out there too, but we want to convince everybody, and I think we can, not that it's just the best game in the casino, but I think it might be the best game of all time. Definitely the best dice game, and you can throw Yahtzee.
You mean casino game, or
No, I mean like game.
Okay.
Game. All right, and we're gonna see how it goes. So
I mean, if you're doing that, you're talking, you're comparing like
and I'm
Super Mario Brothers. You're talking
chess,
Risk, chess.
Exactly.
I mean, okay.
All of that. So I think there can be a case made for that. So that's what I'm looking for. And that's what we're going to get started with. So the biggest reason why I think it's the perfect game and maybe the best game, it is what we call an unmastered game. Nobody can master the game of craps. Nobody has. Nobody. I mean, there's a lot of people who claim they've mastered the game of craps. But there is nobody anywhere that I know of on the net, and I've checked it with multiple AI platforms.
Not that those are, but
I mean, sometimes they make pictures of me and you and stuff. But anyway, no, there's nobody that I've seen anywhere who's mastered it. And I think that's what is the big draw. Once you start getting into it, it draws you in, and it's like the sirens on the island of one of those Greek sailing ships and whatever. It's like, and it's calling us, and it wants us to come on in, and you think we can get it this time, and then bam, it hits you upside the head. So
there's
unmastered.
I mean, I've made videos and kind of explained many times that there's no professional craps players, and I know some people don't like to hear that, and they're like, well, what about this docudrama about the Dominator? And there's different, not hyperbole, but kind of mythical legend stuff, of legend. But there's no, if you talk about professional gamblers, there are, they have existed, they're well documented, and not only poker's the big one, right? But blackjack. Blackjack was plenty of people.
Blackjack. You can master.
Yeah, and I think we'll get into that a little bit. But even people who kind of do video poker, there are instances, or there's people who beat certain games where they first come out and the math is wrong or whatever. So there are professional gamblers, but there is no documented professional craps players. And that just, it's like no matter how smart you are, you can't beat the math of the game. It's perfectly balanced, perfectly set up. And what's fun is, I think that's a big part of it, is you got, because we all argue, oh, my strategy, well, you should always play the lowest house. That's the biggest one for me that I get a kick out of. Always play you kind of play that way, but
I'm that guy.
but not completely, because you could pick up another half of a percent if you switch to the dark side doing Molly. But you're pretty darn close. But so even hey, this is the best math way to play. You go for a couple hours and you get smoked, and the guy like throwing bets in the field and prop bets, 10% bets is like crushing it, right? So it's fun in that way because, like you said, it just cannot be mastered.
No.
We certainly and that's my channel's built on that, right? Trying to figure out different ways to master it, but we just can't do it. And that's the appeal. We try, we keep trying.
You know what the other thing is cool about it, and while you were talking, I just thought of this, but think about how the game's evolved through the years and all the people who've been working on it. So, like, a new bet will come out, like this new one that's the Hard Way All Day.
Yeah.
All these people, whether it's the ATS.
By the way, that one was at the Gold Coast. Gold Coast had that bet.
Did they have the ATS also, or
they did?
Hard Way?
ATS and the Hard Way all day. Hard all day, yeah.
Very good. But yeah, just how multiple people who have nothing necessarily to do with the game, but they just jump on in and say, hey, what about this bet? Or what about this bet? And they get it licensed, or they get it copyrighted, and then bam, they're putting it forward. That's another reason why there's so many hands in the game. It started off as this one little thing, but it continues to evolve. And that's another reason why you can't master it, because now if you try to even use a supercomputer on it, you still can't beat it, and I think that's the magic of it. So anyway, that was one of the ones I was thinking back on the fly there. But
well, I mean, even if we broach a controversial topic of dice influence, right? Those guys can't master it, right? A lot of them compare it to a skill of, bowling or golf or whatever things. But even, you can't master it. The best you could do is like keep improving, getting better at your shot, increasing your, rolls to 7 ratio.
Right.
There's things you could do, but again, you're not mastering. We haven't seen it yet. I guess mastering would be someone who could be like, calling his shots. Here comes an 8. Here comes a hard 8. And at least in a real casino, that wouldn't last very long. That guy would be pulled immediately. But
yes, that's very, very true. It's one of those things again, and it's unmastered. And we can have people who can. There are people who make living. I think one of the comments that just flew by, plenty of people making livings teaching that stuff. But that doesn't mean, you're making a living off craps. There are people who give
they sell courses, give lessons, sell stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People online selling, tables. Yeah, the industry provides professionals, but not someone who's actually
players.
Not someone who's mastered either betting or shooting, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's definitely it brings that whole thing, and that's what makes it so addictive. Is it's just like we just like to think, well, what about this?
Right. If I would have,
what about this, or this would have been happening here, or what if I change my bets? What if I do this? And it's just bam, it's just crazy.
If only I would have switched my bets to the outside 2 more rolls earlier, or switched to the come bets, or yeah, that's the big one. Oh, I knew the 7 was coming. Why didn't I regress when I was thinking about it?
Yeah, this is a game. This next one I want to kind of move to is the social aspect of it. And it's by far makes it, to me, this reason makes it the best game of the casino. And that's just for me, but it could possibly be
Hands down.
Also-
I mean, I don't know how it compares, but
Yeah,
at least in the casino.
I mean, what you think about? Where can you go to where you can just like everybody's just losing their mind at the same time? At a blackjack table, there might be a dealer who busts, and the players who are still in it, the 3 or 4 of them, they might all win. That might be a big cheer or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
But when the table's hot and points are being hit and people are losing their mind, and the ATS and now the hard ways all day is all hitting. I mean, the roars.
The all tall, small, right?
Yes.
When
my
all the
gosh.
numbers roll, yeah.
Yeah, so fire bets or whatever they're called. It's absolutely incredible. And what makes it, I think it's the pace of play too, makes it the perfect game because some people, you can slow it down. I mean, you're in control, and that's going to be one of the things we talk about, but you're in control of the game, pace of play as a player, where a blackjack dealer, they're whipping them out, and they're, dice out. Some of those guys can try to get you dice out, and then there's people who like to slow their roll and, mess around with the dice and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's another thing that makes it.
Well, certainly if you go down the list, you mentioned blackjack, where
Yeah.
if the dealer busts, all the players could potentially, but usually they don't. It's like some have already busted out or whatever. So
Yes.
there might be a couple. Roulette, when one number rolls, there might be like 2 or maybe 3 people. Maybe one guy has multiple chips on it. Maybe one guy has one, or lady, and usually it's, everyone's spread out all over the table.
Yeah, so there's not the camaraderie. It's not
right.
the big win, but for the
Baccarat,
most part,
a lot of all the card games are kind of similar to blackjack. Some lose, some win, but there's so few numbers to bet on. And crap, right? There's 11 numbers, so and you usually have like 16 players at a table. It's a good, especially with a popular number, right? 5 through, 5, 6, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
One of those hit. Most of the players are gonna win at the
They're
same
on the
time.
inside. Mhm.
So it makes it really exciting.
A big camaraderie that exists between the players.
Yeah, and there's certain things there's like etiquette things to it too. This is actually one of the reasons why I don't play blackjack anymore. I mentioned the casinos. I was playing a bunch of video poker this week in the casinos, but I don't play at blackjack tables just because. Well, we talk about mastery, right? There's only one way to play blackjack now. Maybe someone could write. Do you remember who wrote the book on it? It was maybe in the 70s or something. He wrote.
No.
I mean, he figured out the formula. This is how you play in every single situation. It's been mathematically proven.
In the card, it has a card theoretical best way, and there's a card of what to do in. So if you got a 16, or if you got
right, so
this, you're splitting and all that stuff. Yeah,
so you don't. Well, it's not a whole bunch. I mean, I can get pretty close, but you do have to study it and know all the different situations. So that being said, is why I don't play it is because many people have memorized this, and they all play the exact same. So whenever you deviate and go, okay, it's a tough decision. Should I hit or stand?
Go on a hunch.
You could go on a hunch. It is gambling after all. And then you got 3 people who will yell at you, I can't believe you hit and took the dealer's bust card. The dealer would have busted. We would have all won, but you decided to. And it becomes like almost adversarial that way. I mean, it crapshoot, I guess that does exist for like don't players, but I just do not play blackjack because of that. I don't want to hear it. And I'm like I said, I used to know basic strategy pretty well. And not that I would always consistently stick to it, but yeah, I don't want to be yelled at by the person over there that I took the wrong card. I don't want to hear it. I mean, the mathematicians, and they just don't know better too. Math has been proven out. It does not matter what card I take or not. It doesn't, it does in this particular hand, but the next hand, me making a bad play may help you. So it doesn't affect things long term. Oh my gosh, so crazy. Get in. I don't know. You have to get in that mic.
Yeah, I got to get up tight, but I
make sure you're
swear I
close.
changed the settings, so my bad on that. But yeah, we were looking at that earlier.
That's
this
funny.
Evening.
So yeah, I don't play blackjack for those reasons of just the etiquette. I guess part of the etiquette and knowing the rules and it being so specific that you can't play any different. But at the craps table, Jim plays come bets and odds. I play inside and press. Like,
yeah,
does he care one bit? No,
I don't care.
When the 8 rolls, we both can high five, right?
Boom!
Like.
Yes.
Yeah, so it doesn't. We know it doesn't affect each other, but yet we could still play all together. So I don't know if I got sidetracked in there somewhere.
No. But that's part of what makes it the great social game, and that's why blackjack, for example, isn't.
Yeah,
That's just a lot of people won't play it like you, and I won't play it anymore. I mean, I've only played a little bit, a couple times on the cruise ship, and it just feels like a death by 1,000 cuts. And it's very fast. It's very
now I could
fast.
say roulette. Which is very interesting because roulette, you can literally bet opposite someone, red and black, but it doesn't seem to be adversarial. Everyone's like, I lost, he won, he picked the right number. So it doesn't seem to have that adversarial nature that like blackjack has, because people just don't care if you bet opposite or different numbers from them. Which is so interesting on the craps table. People do, oh, you bet the don't while I'm betting the pass. Like it does happen.
A little bit.
And more than I would like to admit, but it doesn't happen much, but it is interesting that it's the same thing. You're just choosing a different number, a different way to bet. And sometimes there is, I can't say it's all perfect. Well, we said it's a perfect game, but part of it is that you can bet both ways, both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there is a give and take there, but it is interesting. I've never really thought about this before. It just came up to me is that roulette, they don't care if I piled on red and you bet black. No one's like, oh, you jerk.
It doesn't affect. Yeah, it doesn't affect the.
Yeah, it doesn't affect
where the
them.
ball drops or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's perfect on that.
Okay.
And the other thing I think is cool about the social aspect, you could be a brand new player right beside Mr. Color Up or whatever level skill, and it doesn't really matter. Where if you put a experienced blackjack counter and they're not sitting in the last seat and they're sitting,
they just ignore comments. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
We get to the comments at the end.
Yeah.
Whoever that is.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of comments on there too with what we've already said, but yeah, I mean, you can be 2 new players or 1 new player or 1 experienced player and just chit chat. And, again, the pace of the play, it's slower. And then sometimes there's little arguments and shift changes and things to slow the game down. So I love it because of that reason. I think it is perfect on the play. You started to talk about the etiquette a little bit, and I think you did anyway, with the etiquette as far as, of the blackjack table, but what about the etiquette of the craps table? Is that, I think it's a pretty cool reason, and there's not a lot of etiquette. Basically, don't buy in the middle of the roll, right? Don't put your hands out like a moron. What else? What else we got? Anything else that's good in etiquette?
Like you said, not much. Mid-roll buy-in, hands up. If you could follow those 2,
I think it's pretty good. You're off and running.
You get along pretty well.
Although we did have a podcast about cheering, about when to cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did have that one. So
which we kind of settled on, cheer, win, and however you want.
Yeah. You go for it, right? But yeah, I don't think there's too much anything like that. As far I said, the etiquette of the game is pretty basic and it's pretty friendly. I think most players who are there, very friendly and welcoming and embrace the social aspect. Are there some people who don't? Sure, but I mean that's in every game and everything. So again, that's another reason why I think it's perfect.
Yeah, someone just meant actually Justice Jen. They mentioned use terms like dark side to create controversy. She thinks the the dealers or the game itself. And that is kind of an interesting point, because it isn't really an issue, right? You bet the dark, I bet the light. You bet black, I bet red. It's not an issue, but we've kind of built that mystique into it a little bit. Hey, you're betting the darks, or you're betting the don'ts, or almost like they are, the good and evil, the bad, and the light and dark.
But we're still both playing against the casino. We're not playing against each other.
Right.
So, but yeah, superstitions on that. Not saying 7. I forgot about that one. That was on my list. Don't say 7.
Oh, yeah. That's probably, that's one of the bigger ones. That one doesn't bother me. That's probably why I didn't think of it, besides the mid-roll buy-in and the hands up. But yeah, saying the 7, while it doesn't bother me, it certainly is an etiquette thing.
And then the other thing I think that makes it the perfect game is there's no two tables are really alike anywhere.
That's an interesting
casino. I mean, we always talk about 14-footer or 12-footer, Battleship 16-footer or whatever.
Right.
But the under laminate, of it, and that was another thing. The palms. I watched that one with Alex this week at the $3 table. I think it was yesterday, and that looked like a crazy bouncy table, like the one that used to be over at Ellis Island, just bouncing all over.
Oh, okay. Where it's hard to keep the dice on the table.
Well, it wasn't that bad.
That bad? Wasn't that bad? Okay.
I didn't see a lot of dice off the table, but what I did see was they were going all over the place. So, but yeah, that again, there's no standard.
Yeah, so you like that? That's a positive.
Well, I think it makes it part of the. Some people are going to like certain places, some people aren't. Again, that's what makes it, I think, perfect. Because there is no standard table.
Well, it kind of reminds me of baseball, right? Like there are some standards, right? Like the bases are 90 feet. Certain things. I don't know if I think the pitcher mound's the same.
Pitcher's mound distance,
but like
to the home plate,
the wall, right? Or how long how far the out of bounds, the walls, the dimensions of the wall are all everyone
how
says,
much foul ground is in it.
Right. Like this field is great for home runs because, like Denver, the atmosphere, or, so-and-so's wall's a lot closer in right field, and the kind of the dimensions are off and
the layouts, the colors, the color of the dice, whichever dice they're using.
I know someone in the comments mentioned earlier that are dice the same weight, and yes and no, because my knowledge, there are 2 different standard sizes, and so they both weigh different. But yeah, those we're talking about another thing that's perfect, right? They're perfectly within tolerances of 0.00001%, and so they're perfect cubes that we throw. So some of the equipment, talking about the equipment, but yeah, the tables, different heights. Someone at Durango, they had I don't consider him a short guy. I think he said he's like 5'7", but he had brought his own like pads and a backpack to like stand on so he can reach the table. He felt like he couldn't reach the table. So, but there are different heights. Some of the tables are a little bit taller.
Yes.
They're kind of close, but they're not. They're all kind of different. You said the lengths and how much room there is past the pass line, and it all kind of plays into it, and it keeps it perfectly. I guess if we go back to the dice control people again, if the tables were all perfect, maybe someone could perfect the toss at home, because they could have the exact specifications and dimensions, everything. I mean, even the walls, like some are 7 diamonds, some are 9 diamond, I believe. The diamonds are different shapes. Not shapes, but they're pyramids, but they're different how big they are. So I don't know, theoretically, if they were all exactly dialed in perfect, maybe someone could gain an advantage there, but that's another way to perfect the game, right? Is to make it, they're all different, so it randomizes it, and so that is really cool about the tables.
Yeah, and then you throw in the like I said, the colors of them makes it very entertaining. The size of them, the distance. I mean, distance is huge. You talk to any of the DI people, they always want to be right beside the stick. That's their spot for most of them.
Right.
That's where they like throwing.
Typically the shortest
from.
distance, right?
Yes, shortest distance and all that.
Although they don't tend to be like, hey, flock. They don't flock to the little tub tables, the little 6-foot tables. I don't know why, but I mean, you want short distance.
Well,
that's the one you should be mastering.
Jeremy.
Sorry, I got off.
Nobody's got a tub table at home, right?
I think more people probably have tub tables.
You think so?
Or homemade ones like me, where it's like you could set the distance.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But I do think you could set a distance and try to match it up, but you're not going to know exactly what's underneath, not unless you had some.
Well, yeah.
Like if you went in there with some type of meter and just like
bounced it to know how much.
How much compression or something that was on there.
But yeah, that's another. They're all so different. Some bouncy, some hard, some in between, right?
Yeah. So anyway, I just think it's the perfect game for that reason.
Yep.
So
like that.
There is no, and you can go anywhere in the world, and every table and the rules are different a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you got 3, 4, 5 odds. You've got this. You can't bet the ATS without a pass line, or you can, or whatever. So
or one side hits, you can rebet it. The VIG is up front. The VIG's only on the win. It goes on and on. They have house rules, right?
House rules. So that goes back to why you can't really master.
Yeah, and so it can certain regions are more popular, so it's for them it's perfect because they're like, oh, everyone in this region loves crapless crap, so that all their tables are crapless. Or this region, like Biloxi, they'll let you buy the 5 and 9 even because everyone likes to kind of buy those numbers, right? And so they can kind of change and adapt and
yes.
Love that about the game.
The next one's probably the biggest reason why I think it's the perfect game.
Okay.
And that is because the player holds the power. So literally holding the power.
I don't know. I can't. Well, at least in the casino.
Yeah.
It's the only game.
Yeah. Definitely the only game in the casino. And I think that's what makes it perfect, right? For, all the dice influencers, they got a shot.
Yeah.
There's no way you can be a roulette influencer or a roulette controller.
Some would say the dealer could potentially be the controller, but again, that's not you. As you, the player, you're relying on someone else to control it.
Right.
But yeah, whether you're practiced controlled influence or just random toss like Jim,
a proud random toss.
Yeah, even though it is random, you do control it. Like it has to wait for you.
Yes.
And when you throw it, you create the result. Mm-hmm. So that is awesome. There are, like Baccarat. Which one is it? The one where they'll let you actually hold, maybe it's just high limit or whatever, but I think they call it two different things where you get to flip the card or destroy the card, but you still don't have control. It's just you're flipping over you're just showing the result.
That. Like I said, I'm just so gigged out on craps. If the table's
I'm just trying to let a little bit in for the crowd of who are not as diehard dice fans as you are.
Yeah.
Or
very
myself
much so,
actually, but
yeah,
I try to spread my wings a little bit.
Yeah, you do, and you do a nice job on that. I just can't do it. I just feel like some people would say I'm throwing money away at the craps table anyway, but I feel like I'm just wasting my bankroll if I'm playing slots or this or that or whatever. It's just not a lot of fun for me on that one.
Well, it's missing some of these attributes that make it the perfect game, so why would you play those other ones, I guess?
Yeah, but you definitely have some control illusions when you're playing the game because you do have the dice, and you can pass the dice if you don't want to shoot, right? If some people don't want to shoot, or the casino could say, hey, if you don't do this or whatever, they'll move the dice to somebody else. It doesn't happen often, but they'll do that kind of deal. But the player controls the pace of the game a lot of times. They might tell you to hurry up, that kind of thing. But you can control it. You set, you do whatever you want, and go from there. So I think there is definite reason why that. Think about it. Do you control anything with blackjack? A little bit when they ask you if you want to hit or what. But you can't
stand,
stand. But you can't take what? 5 minutes to, or you can't at the craps table either, but do you take a minute? What's the longest you've seen anybody ponder whether they're going to hit or whatever?
I mean, it always feels longer than it is, but yeah, it's not, moments, right? Seconds. 10 seconds is a long time if you were to count it out. So if you're waiting, and maybe if they're by themselves, it's a huge hand or something like that, and they have a tough decision, but not normally. It's like 1-2 seconds and people, but they're just picking left or right, or they're picking hit or miss. Like they're just picking. They don't get to control. They don't like to get to shuffle and pull out the next card for themselves or anything.
You don't really mess with them a whole lot, right? So that's definitely true on that. And then the other thing is again, the control actually touching the device. I mean, think about the amount of trust the casino has in craps players.
Right.
That's why you got to keep your hand over the tub and you can't pull the dice back, and that's why everybody loses their mind, because that's when you can actually cheat and maybe get that advantage and lower the house edge, that kind of thing. But and it used to be a
problem in the past. But I mean, nowadays it really isn't so much with all the cameras and the dice, and it would be it's very difficult. I mean, you do hear about it every once in a while, but it is cool that they actually let us participate. It would be akin to like, hey, you made the bet, now go ahead and spin the ball on the roulette wheel. I mean, that would be the closest. Or if you were playing blackjack, okay, you go ahead, we're going to spread out the deck. Now you pick 2 of the cards, your 2 cards you want, something like that. Like that's how much control you actually have. So yeah, it's unparalleled to anything I can think of, at least in the craps thing.
And then let me see, put on my glasses so I can see here. Control, illusion, outcome, super lucky dice, and we don't really have any lucky dice, but we do have some rituals, where that kind of makes it fun too, because whether you're a dice influencer, dice setter, a lot of people who set, they just set the dice and they're not, thinking they're controlling anything, but they, they'll go with the V for victory with the 3, that kind of thing. But yeah, we got some cool little rituals in there and things like that. So I think, again, another thing that makes it just flat out fun. But anyway, that's all the reasons why I could think of.
Turn my bets off.
Yeah, turn your bets off with the control. Yeah, it goes off the table kind of thing. The next one that I had on here was the infinite ways to play. And this is where I think it makes it a game like chess, because I'm sure there's more possibilities with all the different ways the pieces can move in a game of chess. But as far as the casino goes and other games, I don't see anything in there that's close to the possibilities with the dozens of bets. And most of those other games are paying 1-to-1, right? Blackjack,
a lot of it,
win. Yeah, it's 1-to-1, where craps, you get some good odds. Throw the midnight or whatever, it's 30-to-1, right? With the house edge built into it or whatever. So I mean, there are some bets that you can do and make that are pretty astronomical when you're making the when you're trying to get going with it, that a lot of other games just don't have. Now, was it roulette's got some what? They've got some different payouts, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, because if you bet, 1 number straight up, or 2 numbers, or a corner where it's 4 numbers, or
right. So
you bet in a row of 6 numbers.
Payouts. Yes.
Yeah, there are.
So that's
different combinations. There are combinations.
Okay. So
different ways to bet the game.
Not so much with blackjack, though.
Yeah, not so much. Poker. I don't know what the context was, but I saw the word poker in the comments. So poker is another one. There are a lot of different variations. You have because of the suits, right? The 52 different cards. So there, if you have the old 2 of clubs and the 7 of hearts, and what comes up on the board, there's a lot of variation there. So there's a lot of different combinations you could choose from. So that would be a comparable one of so many different ways to play. But yeah, when we go back to the first part of making a living, I literally make a living now off of showing different ways to play, right? I mean, that's what I'm known for, doing a couple strategies every week of, and I'm not inventing these things. Most of these is really awesome. People submit them.
And that's another reason why it's a great
give me an
idea. People think about it and submit and come up with
they're
their
like,
own game.
What if I did this and this and this? And then they, and then, I can then share it out to people. And there's just, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of videos I've made, and there's some copies and there's some that are close, but you can vary so many different ways to make little variations in it to drastically change things. That is a really cool part of the game, is just so many different ways to play and approach the game, whether you're aggressive or conservative.
There's might have 8 people on a side, and every person could be playing an entirely different way.
Yeah, dark side and then light side. One guy's playing big bets, one guy's playing small bets, one guy's playing the outside, one guy's playing the inside, one guy's just playing the hot bets.
Come bets or whatever.
Come bets.
Right?
One guy's playing the low house edge, one guy's playing high. Yeah. There's just so many different ways. Or there's some guys combining. He's playing high house edge, but the outside, whatever.
Yeah, I think just with all those different ways, and then conservative players right beside somebody who's just like going for the home run.
Yeah.
Just like,
which a lot of us are entertained by, right? The guy who's wow, he's going for press. Good for him. He's got $1,000.
And that's another thing about the game. We can be very much entertained. We're all playing the same game at the same time, but you got somebody out there who's just like going, and that can be entertainment in and of itself. I mean, I've been at tables where big hitters get up there and they're doing crazy stuff, or what I think's crazy, and I'm playing my basic boring come bets or whatever, and I'm just sitting here watching his game, and I'm forgetting to make come bets, or I'm forgetting, hey sir, pick up your come bet, oh shoot, or if it's off and on, no it's not, you forgot to make a come bet, take it off.
Or you're just having fun. You get distracted by having fun conversations and having fun
swirls, as I like to call them. But there's definite some infinite ways to play on that. Let's see, what else did we have? Side bettors, prop bettors, house edge. Some people get like gigged out on the math of it. And that's the way I usually approach things. And again, your videos prove that it's not always the best way to play.
I really like that aspect of the simulations I run with Dicers, because I just did a live roll of 50 rolls. Okay. And then I show, hey, if you would have played mathematically the best ways to play, which is the Molly and the Dolly with max odds, it kind of shows you, hey, this is where you would have ended up. But then, I usually do multiple simulations oh, I would have won 500. Oh, I would have lost 300. Oh, I would have lost 100. Oh, I would have won 50. Oh, I would have won 1,000. Every single time.
I would have busted out after the second shooter. Yeah.
Right. It's not, there's no guarantees, and every time, and I do it pretty limited. I mean, I could simulate 1,000 rolls, but the longer you play, most, the trend line is going to go down because of the house edge. But in the short span of things, 10 shooters, which is what I normally do, anything could happen. And you see that in the simulations of the mathematical ways to play sometimes get smoked, right? And sometimes they do really well. And it's just, going back to last week, the variance is, really affects it in the short term of 10 shooters or a few hours or 100 shooters or whatever. Yeah. So that is.
But there are a lot of ways to play. And I think that's what intimidates a lot of new players, is it looks very complicated.
Yeah.
And yes, there are some complicated ways to play, but there's some very simple, straightforward ways to get started, where most people get started like on the 6 and 8 kind of deal, or something like that.
Or the pass line, right?
Or the pass line. It's an easy way to understand and play on that. So
that's actually kind of more of a difficult way to start the game, as a pass line, because then you have to know the two different stages of the game rather than, hey, do you like to or hope the 6 and 8 is going to win? bet on it. Like that's probably the easiest way. Pass line's a little more complicated. It's like,
Yeah.
well, when the puck is off, you win with
7 or 11, you win.
you
2, 3,
lose with
12,
2,
you
3, 12.
lose. Yeah.
And then when the puck
the-
goes on,
any
that's what
other
you're betting
number.
on. And
Yeah,
then you can,
that's right.
yeah. So it is a little more kind of complicated, but it is the basics of the game. So, that's why most people be like, all right, let's make a pass line, and this is how it works.
Yep. So that's it. And then again, personalities and people at the table with the infinite ways to play. It makes for entertaining showcase of what's going on at the table. And if things get too crazy, I'll color up and go somewhere else. Or if I see a lot of negative energy of people arguing, that kind of thing, I'll just go ahead and bye-bye, see you later, that kind of thing. So anyway, that was what we had on Infinite Ways to Play. I think we've hit that from the dozens of different bets. But next segment was the drama of time, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, just think about how long does it take to, people ask me, how long does it take to play?
Okay.
So what would you say? How long does it take to play dice?
Well, I mean, I think I mentioned baseball being similar because
there's no time.
All the dimensions, and they have kind of changed it a little bit with baseball, right? They have shot clock, pitch clocks now.
They do.
But yeah, there is no time limit.
There's no time limit. It's when you get the 27 outs.
Right.
Before
and that could go really, really quick, or that could just drag on all day and all night, and then they can go into extra innings and whatever.
That's right.
So I guess the good thing about craps is you can pick up your bets and go home anytime you want. But yeah,
as long as they've been resolved. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yes, except for the pass and the come bet.
Yeah.
Those are the only two contracts, and some side bets are contract bets, right? Mm-hmm. But anything else you can pick up and ask the dealers to return to you and then go. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of up to you as long as you want to play. Mm-hmm. So it could, how big is your budget? How long can you stay? How long is your winning streak? How long,
lucky are you?
Yeah. When do you call it quits and be like, you know what, tonight's not my night. I'm down a couple hundred. It's, I'll try again on another day. So yeah, there's no specifics of when it can end. I always talk about having bankroll for 10 shooters because I just kind of feel that gives you some time to get through the ebbs and flows of the game. It gives you a chance. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to do 10 shooters. You can plan on 2 shooters. You can plan on make sure your bankroll covers 20 shooters. And the time of that, hey, once, the dreaded 0.7 out, right? So the shortest roll could be 2. Right. You can't throw less than 2. But the shortest throw could be 2. The longest roll, I mean, we've mentioned that Grandma, right, holds the record for, I think, 4.5 hours or something. So many hundreds of rolls.
Yes.
So, yeah, there is no defined structure as far as time. It varies. It varies so much.
It's like a game of Monopoly almost, right?
Yeah.
You see who goes bankrupt last.
Yeah, the old marathon Monopoly games as a kid.
I mean, you remember starting games and you play with your parents, and then your parents are like, "Hey, I got to get up and go to bed. You got to go to bed. Got to get up in the morning," kind of deal. They're tough, right? They're tough. So no time, I think, makes it a very intriguing game for most people. It's not like a hand. It's not like chop, chop, chop at blackjack. I think that
right. And I mean, part of the time thing is I can't think of anything else where a lot of the bets are multiple roll bets, right? Like roulette, everything's resolved in one roll
every time.
Yeah, everything's swiped or paid, right? Same with the table games. I can't think of anywhere it stays up there. It could last multiple rolls. It may not win or lose, but it's going to stay there. And so that's like a time factor built into each thing. So, slot machine, you hit it once, this real spin, everything's resolved. You get paid or you lost it all, and now you go again. Well, I go back to poker. That has a couple, right? You have the flop, the turn, the river. So there's, you could stay in it for multiple things, but I can't,
But think about the tension with dice, especially if somebody is
Oh, the tension. I don't know if that applied to one of the other points, but
it jumped up in here right now.
Okay.
Where it says, hey, the buildup of tension and excitement with long rolls, especially if you keep knocking them down the ATS. My wife is famous for coming up and said, how things going? I was like, hey, if this guy rolls on an 11, I'll win $1,000. What?
Yeah.
Don't say, don't look at him. Who?
Yeah, don't look at it. Don't say nothing. Hold your breath. Whatever.
Yeah. It's just like,
yeah, that side bet more than anything has built up the anticipation because we all loved long rolls, but now it's like a countdown timer. Like, okay, now the 4 or it's always the 2 or the 12. We just need the 2.
Oh yeah. But sometimes it's something stupid like the 8. That's another reason why it makes it interesting.
It's
like,
wild.
Dude, I mean, I've had it to where I needed to roll an 8 to get the ATS, and I couldn't roll an 8. It's just crazy. But yeah, the drama on that, and then
you need to change your dice set, Jim, to get that 8.
Oh yeah, it's more of a random. I need to be more random instead
throw
of
backwards
random.
over the shoulder.
Yeah, if they'll let me, like Mr. Z did. But like and other people too, like some of the things that make it the drama is like, when they get up or like you when you went on that big heater at a couple dice cons ago over at Binion's, as soon as they pass them out, you are letting them fly. Zoom,
Like a rhythm, right?
Yeah, rhythm or whatever. And there are people who believe in the rhythm method,
Yeah. You talk about rhythm, that's why, hey, turn my bets out if there's an argument or if there's a mispay or there's someone buys in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the rhythm of a game is kind of disrupted, so people are like don't like that.
Right.
Yeah, because again, it's messing with the timing, which maybe it was a slow
the overall
rhythm, maybe it was a fast rhythm, but they felt like the rhythm, the timing has changed, so the game has changed.
Or the fill, right? I mean, the fill when the casino brings in all these chips and they just opened the table 45 minutes ago, and all of a sudden we need all these chips. It doesn't make any sense. To me,
and we always say they're trying to cool us off. They're trying to stop the shooter.
The coolers are coming in, and then how about the celebrations? I mean, they build up at hey, good job, shooter, and people are fist bumping, and people are across the way, and then and that's the other thing I like about it too. I've never seen too many people at a blackjack table or whatever, and I'm watching over somebody's shoulder. Hey, great job of not taking the dealer's bus. Here's $50. But if I'm rolling randomly and I hit the ATS, I've had a guy throw me a black chip, who was 25 all over the place, that kind of thing. So there's like a sense of each table, each night, each session is its own little community. And that's another reason why I think it's great. And you could take the same game, mix up different people, and it's an entirely different experience every time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if that kind of reminds me of the first one or the table ones or whatever. Like we talked about the tables being different, but the context, right? The casino that it's in, right? This casino has this feel, I know Hawaiians love certain casinos like the Boyd's Properties, the Main Street and whatever. There's certain feels and vibes, you go to this casino and it's like light and bright and the music's loud, or you got, this casino has the dancing girls or some
distracting.
Like you go to that casino because the drinks are coming fast, or you go to this casino because it's more of chill environment, or you go to this casino because whatever reason, right?
Yeah,
the context around it creates a different feel and vibe, along with you have the environment, then you have the table, then you have, like you said, a couple players, the characters in and out, swap in and out. Now you go from a boring, mean table to a fun table, or vice versa, or whatever like that.
Yeah. So it's definitely entertaining, and it's definitely the way there's no time limit to it. I think again, 100% entertaining, and the way people would just like can come up, go, and come at all the time. People are buying in,
good night,
coloring
Naomi.
up,
yeah,
in and out all the time.
Like constant flow.
Yeah, it's like merging traffic, if you will, over there. But yeah, that's what I had on that one as far as the payoff, the community, the celebrations, and again, nobody knows how long it's going to last. It's just you don't know. Every time you're hoping it's going to be a long time, but all those reasons and more are why I think it's absolute greatest game.
So you said it's the greatest perfect game.
Yes, it's the greatest game in the casino by far. And it might, in fact, Jeremy, I'm 58 years old. Let me just bring it back personal, right? I'm 58 years old. I played a lot of games. I've never built my own Risk board. I've never done a Monopoly board. I've never made my own Yahtzee cup.
Well, because you could buy them for $15,
maybe.
Okay.
But I mean, if I was, but I will tell you this: I do have to my right over here. There is a craps table over here. And oddly enough, with the exception of the rails that a good friend, Craps fan, gave me the rails, but the rest of it I've, either bought with all my quote unquote winnings, including the professor's wonderful Palace felt that's in here from Casino Supplies. But there's no other game that I know of that where people are like, hey, I'm going to build my own roulette thing, or hey, I'm going to build a blackjack table. Although people can buy those too. But I think, getting people hyped up about the game, and once you get in it, it is very, and all the reasons we mentioned, just holding the dice, throwing the dice. We didn't even talk about holding all the chips and coloring up as you go along.
That's a big part of it. The sound of the chips, the counting out.
Yeah. The tactile and the
the color of the chips, and
you're throwing them. And how to toss them without letting them bounce all over the place and all, and learning those things. We didn't even talk about the chips and all, but the chips are huge. But all that stuff is why I think it is absolutely.
Well, obviously, we love the game. We have a podcast about the game, but I guess we can we'll end it here on that.
Yeah.
We've said why it's a perfect game. Maybe you guys can explain to us. And we'll talk about it. Maybe there's a better game. Maybe it is chess, right? That's probably one. Everyone has chess boards or checkers, or sports is a little different. Maybe we should just stick to games because everyone has the basketball hoop or makes their own. But yeah, games. Maybe we could stick to that. But I think we've done a good job of giving our 2 cents of why.
Yeah, and look,
craps is the perfect game.
Almost went an hour with it too. So. Incredible.
Yeah, I will say, we'll go ahead and go. We call it the monster roll, but I know someone chimed in. They were upset about us not answering questions. But I do want to explain for maybe if you're new out there, this is not, this is no interaction with the light. This is first and foremost a podcast. Mm-hmm. So it's a podcast that I cut down to the hour and then throw it to podcast platforms. So in that case, it's a little difficult. We got to kind of stay on topic, cover things, and some comments we mentioned, but we can't go back and forth all the time, right? We're trying
hard.
It's very difficult to incorporate. Because you guys are bringing up different things. But that's why at the end of every show, we do what we call the monster roll. And now it is your guys' time to throw out the questions. Jim usually goes to the top, starts about and see if there's anything significant we missed.
Give some shout
and we are open. So it is, if you guys have some ideas maybe of what is a more perfect game than the game of craps, we're open to hear it. We're open for discussion. I don't know how.
Or a reason why they like it more that we didn't bring up. That could be it too.
But let's go ahead and hit the comments, Jim. See what you got here.
All right, we'll go.
Excuse me.
All right. Well, here's one here. Start off. Have you ever played Hazard? I think didn't you do a video on Hazard?
I mean, I know I've mentioned it, but it's kind of, they say that's where the origins of it. Hazard was the English version.
Okay.
Of where they said maybe craps kind of evolved from. So I don't know how different it is, and I don't remember the specifics of Hazards. But the game we know was not, well, John Scarney was famous for dice, but it was actually Wynn, not the Wynn from Wynn Casinos, but I believe his name was John Wynn, came up with the Don't, making it that perfectly balanced game. And I think that was like the 20s or 30s, maybe. And that's kind of the game since then, and kind of the layout and the don'ts. And the game has kind of been the same ever since. But yeah, hazards. I'm not familiar with enough to.
Okay. All right. So we had our good buddy Jeff saying hey on there, Jeff Gardner and
Badger. Yes, we do have an agenda we cover.
Yep. So that's true. And then we had our buddy Shup, DiceCon veteran from Cleveland. And by the way, we didn't even mention that. My Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, lost to your Cleveland Browns today. Made them look really good.
Yeah, they said before the game was like, okay, whoever loses, their coach is getting fired because they're both like miserable teams, right? We both had one win or something, and
you took it.
Yeah, I guess our coach stays alive for at least one more week. But it's funny how so much rides in the game of football. Because there's like only 16 chances, right? Or 16, or maybe they've gone. I don't know how many games they have nowadays, but
17.
Yeah.
Maybe
but it is like 1 week you're like, we're going to the Super Bowl, and the next week it's like, we're the worst team ever, right? It's just funny how that is very much a big swing on that one. Very similar to Craps. Is like, yes, and then the 7, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Hammer said, hey, it was nice to catch us live, which is cool. So, again, if you're not here, we are powered by Sports Grid, and you can type in Sports Grid Color Up on just about any podcast platform, and you will get there on there.
Oh, what's that?
Yep,
Skill Luck said the best thing about Craps is tipping. Can tip the shooter as well as the dealer. Yeah, you kind of mentioned that where, people throw in a lot of times after big roll.
I mentioned that at the end, but, yeah, that's pretty incredible feeling. Especially when, $25 means you're able to eat after your session.
Well, we talked about the variety of tipping, right? Like in blackjack, you could set it next to your bet. Either you're going to win or lose, and they win the tip, or you just, hey, or thanks for dealing. Here's a tip, right? Or you're done. But with craps, you go, hey, I guess you could do this in roulette too. It's like, hey, you're with me on the 3, or you're with me on the pass line, or you're with me on the comeback. So that is a fun way to interact with the dealers.
So shout out from Brian Jackson 215. We are doing great. And let's see, that was a hazard on the craps layout, but you said you hadn't played it before on there. Let's see, a lot of hellos from a lot of folks over there from Whalen's Way. Whalen jumping in there. Hey, Whalen.
I don't know if that is the normal Whalen, because
he started at it with his girlfriend's name now. So
okay. So he's the one who complained that said we don't interact and bounced.
Yeah. So, that's Whalen. Let's see who else we got on here. KC Craps was on there, and wasn't that the channel you looked up a couple weeks ago?
Well, KC Craps?
Was it KC Craps or something like that?
That sounds right.
Okay.
Hot bets and craps aren't 35-1. Yeah. They usually pay 30-1, but hot bet is 36-1.
Yeah. Let's see here. Justice Jen. Yes, definitely, Jen. $1,000 on a $50 table is definitely underfunded.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're playing one single bet, a $50 bet, a $50 pass line, it'd be a very boring game, but
you need $120 just to do a 6 and 8. And
that's what I'm saying. Once you go to two numbers,
you can't do your 10 shooters.
Yeah, you got 9 shooters, so it can be a very expensive game.
Oh, here's a question. This is a good one for everybody to jump into. Jeremy, which strategy has been your most successful? What would you say how would you answer that question from Mark?
Winging it.
The dice throwing, or you mean the
I mean strategy? The betting, like
the betting.
Oh my gosh, whatever strategy I'm playing, I am up in profits. This roll's just going, so let me just wing it by gut feel. Like, well, the 9 roll, let's power press it. Let's go ahead and do max odds on this comeback. Let's and just rode the wave of at some point. Very rarely, but at some point, it's like my strategy, as much as I like it, it goes out the window. It's like it's time to just get money on the table.
Okay.
So good or bad, sometimes more often than not, that ends up like a bad situation. You're like, all right, let's get some money on the table. And then the 7 comes. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have regressed, or whatever. But every once in a while, it's like, I am glad I started attacking when I did. So
Okay.
I would probably say that's when I have been my most successful, is when my strategy has worked, done its job. I've recouped my money back. I've made some profit, and now I'm comfortable to go wild
There you go.
because
So you
it's-
had. I know you did your CPR strategy video
Yeah.
this week, and I think some of the times I best recoup mine was when I said, "The heck with it. I'm either going to get my money back or I'm going to go to bed."
yeah.
And one way or the other, and I'll start just saying, "Nope, not today." So
Yeah, we mentioned the longest roll, and someone pulled up the stat for us. 154 rolls, lasted 4 hours and 18 minutes.
thank you, Swerve17. All right, this is a good one here to remind everybody. Brian Jackson 215. That Jeremy, if you go to his website, Color Up Club, is it, or what is it? ColorUp.club.
ColorUp.club.
ColorUp.club, and there's a place where you can submit your strategies, and Jeremy will look it over.
Yeah, one of the
and-
tabs is called Dice Advice. Just
Dice
click on that, and there's a
Advice. There you go.
form. So basically, just like you did, you describe your thing, give me a name, whether you want me to mention your name or your real name or YouTube name, and it's a
Mhm.
pretty simple form. And yeah,
Get
and
me
that's how you
rolling.
end up on the Color Up show. Yeah, because I lose track of them. People email them to me, and I always email them back. I'm going to lose track of it. Submit it on that form. If you send it to me in text or Facebook or submit it on that form, it will be there archived for me to find it. But
Okay.
through the comments, there's no way I can keep track of that stuff.
All right, let's see what else we got on here. So Duracell said a don't pass bet after the come out roll plays 1-to-1 with the advantage best bet in the casino. I would say there's one bet better, the odds bet, right? 'Cause
I was
there's no
reading
house
comments. I
edge.
wasn't listening.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Duracell said best bet in the casino is the DP that pays 1-to-1 afterwards, and I would say the odds bet.
Yeah, the odds bet.
technically is
Yeah.
technically the best bet in the casino because there's no quote unquote house edge on it.
Yeah. I mean, he it's specific because he used the word after. So, because you do have the advantage, you still get paid 1-to-1, but
Closest professional craps player is John Patrick. Now, is he the one who passed away, the war veteran?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he was a war. I'm not sure of his history, but very famous gambler, DVDs, books. Again, is he professional from books and everything like that, or
Mm-hmm.
he had TV shows, or did he actually make a living? But
I don't
but
know.
he did a lot of different things. So
Mm-hmm.
it looks like Brian from Hawaii Craps is in the house. Jeremy, now that you live in Vegas, do you ever go to the casino to play craps without any YouTube intention? I have a couple times, especially when club members are in town. I've done that a few times. No cameras. I just get out there and play. But I'm not going to go by myself and be like, hey, I'm going to take $500 and go play. But yeah, I do play.
Is that because it's not social for you? You'd rather have a buddy, a wingman, or a friend, or
Well, yeah, part of it. I mean, okay, let me put it this. Well, one, I'm a cheapskate who doesn't like to risk money, right?
okay.
So if I'm gonna do that, I'm willing to do that if I have someone to have fun with. But for me to just be like, well, let's go see if I'm gonna lose 300 or win 300. It's just not me. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm not gonna go by myself and do that. But yeah, yeah, Green Club members say, hey, I'm in town. Can you meet? Yeah, I do my best to always meet with them. So,
All right. So,
but
no worries.
yeah, that's an interesting question. But yeah, it's a
So
mix.
this-
But
Okay. Mix. So this one here said there are plenty. This is Victoria Mastro. Said there are plenty of hosts, shills, and prop players who make their buy-in via craps lessons, etc.
yeah, I think that goes back to whenever I was saying there's no professionals.
There's none. Yeah. There's none on there. Even Skill and Luck says, hey, look, even the name of your thing has to be Skill and Luck. There's some luck to it, right? Somewhere along the line, there's got to be some luck in craps. But he said he's not a professional, but he's close.
Yeah, love
close.
that. I love that.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah. Let's see what else. Hey, JF. Hello, Color Up Club people. And again, can't hear Jim, so don't know why that is.
Well, again, I turned you up, and you don't have the automatic setting on, so the adjustment I made should have cleared things up.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that was earlier. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Again, Duracell. Again, I don't claim to be a dice influencer. I don't claim to be a dice controller, but I've watched some videos. I've some people who put out stuff weekly on there, and I get it, and I know you're probably just going to tell me that, they're just trying to push back the 7. You're not trying to roll a combination or what
we researched it a lot.
Result. Yeah, but again, don't know, admitted, guilty as charged or so on that one.
Yeah.
So.
We understand. There are different groups too. There are some that like, yes, I could definitely push it back, and some people are like, I'm just trying to get like an extra 1% edge, right? We're trying to push the 7 to once in every, 6.6 rolls or 6.5 rolls or whatever. We're just trying to have some influence as opposed to being completely random. Totally get that, but we're just saying there's no results. There's no finite data. Played in Laughlin last year. They would not let you set the dice. Some of the border towns here in Nevada, I don't know. I don't know about your experience. I hear that on and off. Like when I was up in Reno, everyone would tell me, what's the border town up by Utah? Not Laughlin, but it's another one of those little towns that has like a handful of casinos. But everyone's like, I
have no idea.
They will not let you set the dice. They even have signs on the, everyone's posting me pictures. They have signs that say no dice setting on the table. And I got told this for years and years and years. I'm like, okay, I can't argue with that, right? So let me go visit. So I went up there, made a special trip up there, and sure enough, everyone's dice setting. And so I talked to the pit manager and stuff. I said, "What you say no dice setting? People are dice setting. I see you give some people a hard time, and other goes, listen, we have to have a rule in place because some people do the whole, they don't know, they take forever, they're rolling the dice backwards, they're doing all this stuff. So if they're a problem or they're taking too slow, we can go, hey, our rule is you can't set the dice, throw them. But there are plenty of people that they grab the dice, go flip, because they know how dice work. Hey, if you see a 6 and you're looking for the 1, it's on the other side, right? If you see a 5, the 2's on the other side. They just go flip. They got the dice set, and then they can go. No problems, right? So in these casinos where dice setting is not allowed, I found that it is allowed. They're trying to speed up the game. The more rolls per hour is better for casinos. So I have encountered that and see that, but that's kind of one of those things where
So the real reason is they didn't get burned by a bunch of DIs back.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not. Yeah. So because some people use that as evidence of, hey, obviously it works because they don't let you do it. But when you go in the casino and see it, they do actually, in fact, let you do it. And their reason is, hey, let's go, speed up the thing. So practice your dice setting so you can do it quickly and efficiently. And I don't know of a casino that you'll have an issue with, even the ones with the signs and have rules against dice setting. So
okay. Let's see. How about this one? Waylon was jumping in earlier. Said plenty of YouTube channels that ain't got a clue how to bet to come out on top. That's the problem. Same betting after losses is the worst way to play craps. Well, I know Waylon does a lot of.
He's a big negative progression guy, which I'm actually opposite of that. So.
Yeah. So everybody, but again, that's what makes it a really cool game to me because you can play all different kinds of way. And again, somebody else who can't hear the professor said, "No, I'm teasing." I saw that earlier during the live audio there. Let's see. Now, is this true that the casinos use lighter dice than most elastic layouts? On most elastic layouts, I think all the dice are pretty much the same. You said earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah,
two
they get them from
standard
two
sizes.
manufacturers.
Yeah,
There's two
standard.
sizes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 0.775.
0.775 and 0.750.
Okay.
If you had Brian's trying to create content for us, I guess. If you had a choice to play in the regular craps table or bubble craps, which would you choose and why? Regular table all day. For a lot of the mentions we mentioned during the show, the social aspect of it, the dealers, the chips, the perfection of the game. In a pinch, and when I have $20, I'll play bubble craps, but that's the only reason.
Okay. Very good.
Paul asked, how was your first summer in Vegas weather-wise? It was amazing. I came in the dead of summer, heat of summer, whatever, but this was, I guess, one of the most mild summers they've had in a long time. It was very nice, very manageable.
I'll tell
Are you laughing because you visited me for a couple days?
I came out. Yeah, I hung out a couple of days. I went hiking on a. I'll tell you this. I went hiking to a top. I don't know how tall the mountain was or whatever it was called. But
a couple hundred feet. Yeah.
Yeah, at least, right? Several hundred feet or whatever. But anyway, when I was running up that thing, it was 100 and whatever degrees, and I would have never done that in the
You would have had a stroke, right?
I couldn't have got replenished fluids enough on that.
Yeah, I mean, you did sweat because you are putting out, but I mean, you would have been like a ringed bucket. You wouldn't have made it. Yeah, you wouldn't have made it. So the humidity thing is significant difference. Is a real thing. So, but yeah, it was very mild. But I knew what I was getting to. I lived in Phoenix for a couple of years, and so 120 is not foreign to me. But it was a good summer. But my air conditioner works, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, I just got to Waylon's thing about ignoring the craps thing. Yeah, it's and I'll let him know since he's peace out. I'll try to let him know on one of his next time. Let's see.
I have some 20-plus-year-old dice from Vegas. I could check the weight. Yeah, usually you'll find them like I think 9.5 grams, but like I can't speak to 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago, you had the you had.
Yeah, and they punch it, so they might have taken out some weight too.
Well, you punch it that should maybe disperse the material, but they did a lot of different acetates, different different materials. A lot of those old dice, if 20 plus years, a lot of them don't stand up. I've got some that are like they kind of melt over time. Wow. But yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the standard last whatever. 20 years, I guess he's saying 20 plus, but yeah, the dice from, you pick up a dice from the 50s that are now 75 years old. I'm not going to say, oh, those are precise and the same weight and all that stuff. So
very good. And then this one, I think this was when we were talking about dark side players. A lot of people felt it was more adversarial, with craps and the dark side. That was from Skill and Luck.
Well, I think you too, and people, it has helped a lot. People didn't have information, right? There were some books, and it wasn't like you can go listen to someone explain it. So, but I think a lot of people have gotten out there and they show different ways to play that it probably has toned down to back then.
Apparently not when Justice Jen is out there, though, because she gets harassed 3/4 of the time, it looks like.
That's wild.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. That is a large percentage in her her perspective of world.
Her personal.
Where
experience.
Are you playing, Jen? She plays all over, right? So I don't know.
She plays where she wants to play. She's Justice Jen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets out there. Let's see.
I keep scrolling up and then I scroll back down to see the new ones, and then I lose track of where I am. But
line bets are a key part of the dice code that was built into the game. Line bets, yeah, it's definitely the one they trained the what do you call those people? The dealers on first. Hey, you get a line bet. Hey, you do that. Yeah.
Yep. Tout the odds.
Mm-hmm.
I question why the casinos want you to play the odds so bad.
Let's say.
Have you ever been in a game where they changed the set of dice on you?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think they've done it.
I have.
Yeah, I think so.
And I see people request, hey, I want to change my dice, out of the 5 you can choose from. But yeah, I've seen them be like, well, not in the middle of a shooter though. I haven't seen, the casino out to get you. Okay, you're in a big roll, and now I'm going to. You have to choose. We're going to unwrap this stick of dice and drop it in the game. I haven't seen that, but I've seen it between shooters.
Mm-hmm. How about this one?
It's usually after like a shift change.
Why are the craps dice usually red? Any idea on that?
Beyond tradition, I don't know.
Okay.
There are so many different colors now. If you go to casinos, maybe red is still the predominant, but yeah, there's like amber and blue, and usually they're almost always translucent though, so you can kind of see through them. And maybe because I think back in the day, a lot of them were green. The felts were green, and so red is like the contrasting color. That would be, if I was like to take a guess, not knowing, that would be it. It's just because the high contrast, and billiards used to be green, and all the table games are green felts. Nowadays, all the felts are whatever color, and that's why thus you need different colored dice, because if you had a red felt, you'd lose the red dice.
You're right. You couldn't really see it.
But yeah, I think it's just contrasting colors.
Any thoughts on why the dice on bubble craps have rounded corners?
Well, yeah, they have a mechanical device that pops them, right? And
yeah,
they're not going to roll that. They're not going to roll that much or land that great if they're square.
Okay.
They just don't have the velocity that like a person who throws across the table. We have perfect squares, and the squares grab. They just can do a little pop, and so I'd imagine it's to keep more randomness into them so they can roll.
Hey, can I give a little shout out to my sons? They bought me this can of Diet Coke, which I'm opening right now, but I think it's the only one like it in the world. It says, I think it says The Professor.
It's got a little
Jim
beach scene there.
Yeah, Jim the Professor. I think they got it at Disney, downtown Disney or something.
Oh, they were able to custom make it, huh?
Yeah, custom.
And you open it? You didn't keep it as a collector's?
No, because it's going to go bad, so I'm going to do it.
I
I'll
guess.
save the can. I'm not going to recycle it.
I mean, the chemicals in that, maybe it lasts like 100 years, Jim. Did they give you like a 6-pack, or is that the one and only?
No, they're just one and only. This is custom. So anyway, I'm enjoying it right now tonight. So
shout out to the Professor kids.
Yeah, definitely.
I've seen green dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
A funny can of Coke.
Oh, here's one. Don't damage the tube. Yeah, 10-man Jeff coming in on that one. That's what I was thinking. The tube, and also if one corner got rounded, maybe a nut first, and other combinations wouldn't come up would come up more often. Then you could get a advantage on the machine.
Yeah, I don't know where the comment is. Someone mentioned that, mechanical biases, because there are guys that kind of look out for that. Again, going back to professional gamblers,
right,
who would look for a bias in like a roulette wheel. I think they balance them like every day or check. But yeah, if they became unbalanced, and the balls are gravity fed or whatever down to a certain, you can pick a segment. I'd imagine there could be some sort of mechanical advantage that could be found in a bubble machine where, like you're saying, if one edge, if they were all sharp and one kind of rounded down more than others, it would cause a kind of like an odd spin. Like that's why they want perfectly sharp square dice for us on the tables, but maybe on the bubble,
exact opposite.
One would kind of wear, and then you would find that certain numbers would come to. I know we've mentioned this, but it's kind of worth repeating. Is a lot of times people will send me the proof that they're rigged because they have a random number generator in the bubble craps machine, but that random number generator is how hard and how far they pop the dice. Yeah, it's the hydraulics. is what's randomized, because trust me, the casino wants a random game. They don't want you
Figuring it out.
to figure out that the dice are now rolling to a specific thing. So that's why I think if they're rounded, you've seen them like, oh, it's a 6, whoa, and it rolls over. It's like, what kind of crazy roll is that? And I think they want that. They want it as random as possible because they win the random game.
And let's see. How about this one here? I think this is a super comment. Craps is the only game which you play everything else the dealer does. I think it's
Simple
a game
enough,
where
yeah.
dealers deal. That's what they
Yep.
do. So let's see. Anything else up here we hadn't got to?
I saw your video on the CPR strategy. Think that will last me, say, 3 hours a night for 5 nights on a cruise. If you saw the simulations I was running, I mean, it ran like the hedgehog, which is,
right.
come, don't come, come, don't.
A little bit.
I mean, very little variation. So there's a good chance. And obviously, depending on your bankroll, what level you're doing at, if you could take the little variances in it. But I was shocked because I've done that strategy years ago. So one of the reasons I wanted to redo it was to put it in that simulation. And that sucker is a flatlining strategy. So if you can, and I think I did it with the outside numbers. I mean, you could do the inside and maybe it's less. I should probably build another one and compare them, or, you can go across all the numbers, obviously, on a cruise if you're playing for points and time. Maybe the 6 and 8, but you got to do it at bigger bets, right? $100 or
now. Let me ask you this: would you recommend this guy to play one of your or Brian's way? I mean, if you're going to be there 5 nights, why not go for the free cruise? But I guess he didn't say he was playing on Royal, so he could be playing on the competition.
Well, most of them are kind of the same thing, right? It's your average bet and time at the table. But maybe he was just looking for time at the table. But
Royal and sister companies do a good job of are very honest with what you need. But the other ones, it's like a nebula. Yeah.
So like the CPR, and I mentioned the hedgehog, those are strategies they look like they just kind of, you play a long time and you won't win anything, you won't lose anything. They're very flatlining. You could play that way. I personally, and Brian teaches, we like to hedge at the beginning, because what that does is after your hedge is over, it gives you a chance to take advantage of a big roll and win a good amount of money, where, if you were just to play the CPR or the hedgehog, while you're eliminating your chance of loss, you're also eliminating your chance of winning. So that's kind of the difference there.
I wonder if the points, how the points would be on something like that. I guess it
depends. Well, again, it's going to depend on your level, right?
Yeah.
If you just do minimum bets $10 and you press it up once, and then the next hit you press down, they may not even adjust your rating. So if you're covering the inside numbers, that's $44 bet. You're only getting 44 points an hour. Of course, if you put quarters on it, now you're up to 100 and some points an hour. If or play black chips, right? You're 400 or 500 points an hour. It might hurt for a couple rolls, but if you can afford to, go through 3 rolls, 0.7 out, and you lose 1,200, but you could still afford to come back, it should get back up there, because it's one of those.
In theory, individual results. Maybe.
Yeah, of course.
How about this one over here? Your sister
that's when I said good night, Naomi.
Yeah. She said, but she had a really. Did you go on her Facebook page this week?
No,
probably not. She did something really cool.
Much of a Facebook user.
She's got something cool that went on with Christmas Story, the movie. So you need to check that out. And you being a Cleveland guy, I would think you'd be interested. Yeah.
She visit the house with the leg lamp.
Yeah. No, not the house. I'm not going to spoil.
Do you think Bubble Crap should have the same comp rating as regular tables? Yeah.
What was it? I missed it. I was reading.
Do you think Bubble Crap should have the same comp rating as regular craps tables? Especially,
they can keep track of every little thing on there. The computer can do it all, just like a slot machine, right?
Well, in most of them now, I think at the very beginning, what they did, they got hammered, because I've talked to table game managers in charge of the whole casino.
People. Yeah.
When they first started coming out, they didn't have things in place so you could hedge specifically. Every time you get a don't, you would then place it so you can have hundreds of dollars in hardly zero risk and then just be racking up the points. And so, but now almost any machine, there's some machines will let you like put up place bets, turn them off, and then do like don't bets, and then turn your place bets on to kind of hedge.
Right.
But most won't let you hedge. So
that's been taken away.
So if you can't hedge, like why not? The only other thing I think the reason why they don't is because of team play, of especially not on individuals, but on, the stadium one where everyone sits around the single one.
Right.
Because you could bet 100 on the pass and I could bet $100 on the don't, and we could rack up points that way with team play. Now, what you could do at a table if they don't know or don't catch on, but they can certainly say, guys, we're not rating you if they know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's a lot easier on an unmanned electronic machine where you're like, well, 100, why don't we make it 1,000, right? Someone has to protect the 12, but you're running 1,000 pass, I'm running 1,000 don't, when we're done. Meanwhile, we're racking up buku points. So I think that's, there are a couple issues, but I wish they would rate it for sure.
And MJ said hello earlier there. So, hey, MJ, cruise veteran. And
I would say some of them will dribble out points. They will say, you get some points, but it's like way worse than like a slot machine. Most casinos are like $5 through, get you 1 point. Some are worse, but most bubble craps machines will say, no comp value at all or zero comp value given.
Okay. And then here's another one for the cruise. This is, again, going back to Brian and Holy Roller, that John 1010 thing that he came out with. And if you don't know what it is, you can watch a video on it. But
yeah, he stole mine and renamed it. It's just like laying the 10, right? No, it's all the same. Skill and Luck says he gave a good answer about the round of dice, and Jim, you just skipped over.
Oh my gosh, Skill and Luck, daggone it! I'm sorry.
He probably maybe he researched and knows more specifically the reason.
Yeah, let me
because
go
I was just guessing, but
yeah, now I'm going to be like Jeremy. I want to say, hey, I've already been here. Let's see, what was the Skill and Luck answer?
Let's see what this.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Skill and Luck. The answer for why the rounded dice are used is because it helps to settle the dice to a flat state as it vibrates to the final results, which the machine can read. So that is the answer, Skill and Luck. Thank you.
Well, they even rounded, they still sometimes get stuck up against the wall or the ledge. So if they were sharp, you would see that all the time. They would just be stuck and they couldn't. Yeah. So great answer.
I got to find my place. Yeah. But he's right. Yeah.
Let's see. I think those machines are not able to recognize your bets. They just know the coin in like a slot. Maybe.
Let's see.
But again, if they know the coin in, they should be able to rate you, right?
I think so. Yeah, Paul. They should know that.
Virgin Cruise Line is 3 points per dollar spent. It's 8,000 points for a comp cruise for two people. Yeah, so theirs is 3 per dollar instead of 5 per dollar, but then you got to earn
more.
8,000 points where, other cruise lines is like 1,200 points or so. It's kind of they've got to figure it out. They're not, they're no dummies. They're not giving anything away for free.
Oh yeah.
As much as we call them free, right?
Right, exactly. And I love, the best thing I ever heard was when the dealer called them prepaid rooms. They don't call them free rooms; they call them prepaid rooms, which cracks me up. But
which for the majority of people, I would probably say that is in case. But
very true, probably very.
I know from the tracking I've kept, the money I've paid, and the cruises I've got, I'm way ahead on the cruise thing.
How about
as far as their comps go?
If you had a choice to play on a regular craps table,
we already did this one.
We did that. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what is your answer to that? I
played the regular table.
It.
Yeah, you answered it. I didn't. I was probably reading some comments, but yeah, I would definitely always play on a real table if I could afford the minimum. And it sounds like they're going down to $3. So.
in some places. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
guessing the East Coast you'll never get down there.
Probably not. Not enough.
My best
facilities.
wins were from keeping track of the rolls from individual rollers and my rolls. We talked about that a little bit last week. I mean, variance of the game, right? We talked about the pyramid.
Yes.
If it's out of whack and you're tracking and you notice that, there is some room to kind of take advantage of that, because at some point it has to come back into alignment, into the mathematical probability. But how long that takes is the magic question. So that's why each individual roll is still considered random. But yeah, if it's working for you,
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
good.
Did you talk about this one already? About which
I
one
have not
would
seen
you do?
this.
All right, so long-time viewer, first-time chatter. I'm going on a cruise next month, and I'm planning on playing craps like I always do. Doing around a $2,000 bankroll. What would you recommend for a beginner? So what are you thinking on that for a beginner? You thinking like should he go for the cruise and forget about playing? Because the way you play on a cruise, with me especially, is way different than your purpose. Of
Did he
play,
say
I
what his
guess.
purpose was? He just said he's playing and he has $2,000. $2,000 is a great bankroll.
Yeah, it's a great.
If your goal is to get 2,500 points, where you get an annual cruise and then a bunch of offers, and I would say, check out Brian's channel or check out My Secret Strategy. And they're essentially the same thing. You're going to make place bets and equivalents. I do a lay bet to protect those.
Mm-hmm.
They offset each other, but you get most ships. You get rated for both.
And you can win sometimes. You can win some money.
Yeah, after a
Brian
few
won
rolls,
some.
I
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
down the lay bet. Brian usually plays a little different. He usually plays like a don't pass. For instance, $150 don't pass goes to another number, and he uses 150 to now cover the other numbers. So he can win with those numbers, or if the 7 rolls, he's protected. Obviously, you have to avoid whatever the don't pass is, or in my case, you have to avoid what the lay bet is on. But essentially, you're playing both sides. You're getting rated for a bunch of points.
Right.
And then at some point, that's kind of paid for. You've got your money back, and then you can win. So that kind of gives you, we found, the most time at the table if you're going for points. It's not necessarily the best way to play at your local casino where you're trying to win, win some money maybe. But if you just bet big amount to get that average bet, which you want, a big average bet of, if you go 220 on the inside, $220,
You'll get their points. Yeah.
you'll get your points, but you can get wiped out very fast if you don't have a
you-
hedge in place.
Yeah,
if you just
don't-
plan.
That's right.
So you get rated good if you can last a few hours. So, if with that bet, you got to last 10 hours to get 2,000 points, essentially, if you're betting $200. So can you play 10 hours with no protection? Maybe you do the CPR.
And depending on how long the cruise is, he might be able to get the whole 4,000. What is it? 2,500.
2,500. But
2,500.
yeah, I mean,
for the certificate.
maybe you get one hand where if you don't do any hedging, maybe you get one hand and you win $2,000, another 2,000. Right now, you're in great shape to kind of play however you want. So, yeah, it just depends on what your goals are.
Yeah, some people say it's a funny can of Diet Coke. I think it's a fun can of Diet Coke right there. It made my day. Yeah, Joe, you're right. Surprised to see me drinking Diet Coke. Yeah, right.
Hey, Jim, here's a question for you. What
Yeah.
do you think about on-access throwing?
Yeah, I think it doesn't hurt, and keep throwing them on axis, and if you can tell me how many times it's spinning backwards,
I like,
and all that stuff, and that it doesn't spin on or it doesn't move and just happen to flip back over. I'm 100%.
I like the idea of the access being this way.
Yeah.
Some people call it the helicopter
yeah.
toss or old terms, but
Helicopter.
this access seems to be more. But I know there's on-access toss and off-access toss. Someone actually just sent me Uri, which is everyone knows, or has not everyone. A lot of people in the dice community know the Uri grip, and he wrote like the Bible on dice control. And I read it years and years ago, but it's been out of print for 30 years or whatever. So someone was very kind enough to send me a book, and I'll read it again. But it's all get into the very specifics of on the access and all that stuff. But obviously we don't think much of it because we don't practice it, skill and luck. So
I would not say
someone like yourself or others would know and care a lot more, but we don't care that much.
Yeah. Joe, and I would love to try to get with the spring water and stuff, but I just drink water and a little bit of, every once in a while, a little unsweetened tea. But they usually have some sweetener, even if it's not sugar. It's not unsweetened tea. So let's see.
Good health advice. Just always drink water, but
well, yeah.
It's tough. It gets boring, and we want a little flavor. These guys, I've been drinking these, which are they're using fake. It'd probably be better if I use real sugar. Yeah. I don't know which one they use, but I can't drink it. They're so sweet. I usually dump out half into another thing, and then I always water these down a lot.
Okay.
But
like
I water down my Gatorades.
Yeah, I water down my lemonades like that. Yeah. Let's see what else, Paul. Paul taking up for me. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Yeah, great club member, great guy. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see anything else on here. Let's see. Yeah, Virgin is 8,000 points.
Joe's fighting back. Not true, Jim.
Yeah?
He drinks. Well, he drinks
no
specific
artificial sweeteners. Okay. Pure Leaf.
Pure Leaf doesn't. Yeah, I'm sure there are specific brands that do a great job of just filtered tea, right?
Yeah. And then Hawaiian Craft.
He said sorry for any typos. We didn't notice any typos because we read
so
like
fast.
you write. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. So Ryan said no casino gives the same comp ratings on the regular tables for bubble craps.
Yeah.
On there. Let's see. What else going on up here? Yeah, I think I've already got down. I've got down to the bottom. So if anybody else has got anything,
Only a few clean waters filtered. That is what I drink. My wife always loves the flavored one. Not flavored. They're watered, but
and then you put the little cap screw.
Yeah, but they're adding salts, and they're adjusting the pH, and they're doing stuff, right? I like the stuff out of my fridge that just runs through the filter, whatever, reverse osmosis, just water.
Okay. Yeah, water's good. You need it, right? Your body's made up of.
Yeah, I try to drink a couple of those, and then I do Coke Zero. I don't know that that's any better. It's probably worse than Diet Coke, but I enjoy a Coke every once in a while, and then I do these when I want some flavor, some watered down Gatorades.
I had Gatorade after my soccer game. By the way, we had a thrilling comeback. We were down 2-0 at halftime, and we came back to tie up 2-2. So I was very happy.
A tie,
but I had a chance.
Thrilling.
Last about minute, 90 seconds of the game, I had a breakaway. I'm right-footed, but I had a breakaway that had me playing on the left-hand side. I was playing the winger. Had a breakaway, got by the last back, and I took a shot with my I chickened out with the left foot, and I just went with the right foot and missed it. So could have been a hero.
Casino that gives the best comps in Las Vegas is the Palms. Jim, can you attest to that?
I played there a couple times with Jeremy.
Minimal,
yeah. We wasn't a big bankroll. I think it was like 200 or something like that, or maybe 3 at the most. And yeah, we got some good comps. I got emails for rooms. I get placard cards for rooms. I think one of the things that even gave us a I don't know if it was 2, but it might have been 1 free and 1 discount or something. I can't remember. You might remember. We went to the
Oh, the
all you
buffet.
could eat buffet thing. So I thought they
Yeah,
were
no,
very
no.
fair.
I've
I thought
spent
they
very
were
minimal
fair.
money, and they've gave me great comps. But again, a lot of times the first visit or two, they do that.
Okay, trying to hook
If I
you.
go back,
Okay. Yeah.
all non-sugar things are no good.
No
Yeah,
good.
the stuff. Anytime they try to, there's no. Yeah, they replace it. Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah, sugar's addictive. Yeah, I mean that's why we.
Lots of stuff. Some people say gambling's addictive.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
That's
for some
true.
people. Yeah. Let's see. If you need me there, you can be in Reno or Cherokee. Cherokee's 7 hours for me, but I think that's the most beautiful, best place.
That's
to
what you
play.
keep saying.
Yeah, I really do.
But they don't have $5 tables, Jim. I can't.
No, they do not. No, and they're not going to, because I don't think they're going to let another
Their comps are
casino,
consistent.
Yeah, get in there.
Gambling is very addictive.
You don't think so?
It has the potential, but I think it's the person. The data is 5% of people will get addicted to it, but as much as I'm involved,
You haven't been addicted.
I'm not addicted to it.
Okay.
For me, it's very addictive.
Yeah.
That's what he said, Joseph. Yeah, it does. Yeah,
It's
it could be.
funny though.
And hopefully, it's not you're not a problem
problem.
addict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here telling everybody, hey, I've got my own craps table. I've done this, I've done that. But yeah, I'm not addicted to it.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it
I
is
just
kind
like it. Yeah.
Right, for someone, if you're trying to convince someone that you do sound like an addict, but you're not a problem addict. I would say you're not. Yeah, you don't take your paycheck and go and.
Yeah, but I
not even close, right?
Not even close. Not even.
You don't even take your extra money. It's got to go to.
I don't ever play. So.
Yeah.
But one last thing though, it reminds me of the alcoholics or whatever, where they said, I remember one time where I was chatting with a guy and his wife, and they were sitting there, and she was like, "You're drinking too much. You're an alcoholic." He said, "I don't drink it because I drink because I'm addicted to it. I drink because I like it." So maybe you just like playing, Joe. Don't beat yourself up.
Don't beat yourself up too much. He says I'm a degenerate. Do you play craps online anywhere, Jim?
No.
I could see that being way more addictive. Even though you can usually bet smaller amounts, like 25 cents or whatever, I could see that becoming more addictive. I'm surprised that became legalized everywhere. To be honest with you, I'm all for it because I'm all for online casinos where you can gamble.
Yeah, freedom of choice and stuff.
Yeah, I'm all for freedom of choice, and yes, I understand some people are going to get addictive and it's a problem, but as a consenting adult, I think it's okay to hurt yourself. But yeah, I don't play in Nevada. It's not legal, so I don't play it.
And then a lot of those online things are offshore or not regulated by any kind of reputable kind of people.
Very few of them here are legal in America.
Yeah. Well, I think we're winding it down here, Jeremy, because I got to get up at 4
I understand.
a.m. So I need to get
Thank
going.
you.
So
We thank everyone for listening and contributing.
Absolutely.
And hope you enjoyed the conversation, and glad we got to most of your answers.
Yeah. And I will let some of the other people know, maybe at the beginning of the show next week or whenever we have our next show, let people know that, hey, it's not interactive right from the get-go because first it's a podcast.
It's a podcast,
and
then we do, and then community interactions afterwards. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Appreciate it. And same thing with Mizzou.
Have a great night and week. Yep.
Bye.
All right. Adios, everyone.
Yep. We'll see you. Bye.